My people. So, hey, guess what, guys? Welcome to the Barbecue Talk Show. My name is Charlie from Pickles BBQ. This is my illustrious co-host, Jay from Leprechaun TV. We have hijacked the show this time. Thanks for tuning in. This should be fun. Don't forget, they have a website. It's up and running, barbecuetalks.com. That's bbqtalks.com. They have some fantastic discount offers on the website. 15% off a meter worldwide and 10% off the Rusty Barbecue Company's products as well. Also, they podcast every single week. This show is for your listening pleasure. Find it where you find your podcasts. Here's to Ryan and Matt, our poor, sad interviewees.
Yeah. Today's guest, Charlie. Since we hijacked it, it is our show. So today's guest is Ryan and Matt.
All right, Ryan and Matt, jump on in and give us a how do you do or a cheers or
cheers, guys.
Hey, guys. Jazz hands.
Cheers. So in this show, we get to find out a little bit about the hosts of the show.
Yeah,
maybe a lot too much about the hosts of the show.
We're gonna pry.
We got to keep some things secret, haven't we?
Not necessarily.
No. You put the wrong guys. You put the wrong guys at the helm.
I think it's going to be great fun. I can't wait. I think we picked the right people for the job. Exactly the right two chaps there. Bang on point. That's what I'm saying.
So anyhow, introduce yourselves. We have Matt from Smoky Q's. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Matt. Where you from? What you do? What you don't do?
What do you do for a living? What do you do at home?
Oh, this is really weird being on the receiving end of the questions. So, Matt, Smoking Q's. So Instagram, Facebook, other places, YouTube. Founded this fun show with Ryan. We've been doing this for nearly 6 months now. Loving it. It's good fun. What do I do is work, IT again. So yeah, day in, day out. Don't like talking about it when I'm not at work, so we'll skip past that one. That's me.
Where do you live? Where did you grow up?
Oh, okay. In the UK. So I'm in the southwest of the UK. Lived this side of the UK for all of my life, bar maybe a couple of months when I was over Ryan's side of the pond, when I was a baby.
So you're looking forward to what I hear, your 14th birthday.
Yeah.
So
maybe I might have some. Maybe I might get my first pubic hair or something. You know.
Very nice.
I tell you what, Greg DiGiorgio is going for my facial look at the minute. Have you noticed?
That's good.
The boss baby broker, we're calling him now.
You're setting on a new old trend.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you look younger, don't you think?
I'm probably gonna just rip this off because I'm like, hey, it's Matt. Matt said so.
Yeah, get it off. I tell you, you'll look about 20 years younger.
Right, true.
I'll look like Justin Timberlake. Just saying. Just saying, Charlie. Come on.
Around the Leps studio, singing "Baby, Baby, Baby."
Ryan.
Bye.
Ryan G. Where are you from? What do you do? What's your story? Why should people pay attention to this whole thing?
Wow, that's a really good question, Charlie. Why should people pay attention to this whole thing? My name's Ryan. Ryan G. You can call me. I come from the Chilterns, which is an outstanding area of natural beauty in Buckinghamshire. I live in a little village called Great Missenden.
That's where Roald Dahl, the author, comes from. So it's a really nice place. Very lucky to live here. It's a lovely, lovely little part of the world. And I'm really happy. My kids love it here, and it's a good place for them to grow up. A little bit about me. I work for a company called Martin Baker Aircraft Company. We manufacture aircraft escape systems for most of the major the US Navy, most of the major air forces around the world as well. Obviously, we supply the RAF, we supply the French, Dassault aircraft. We're sort of the global market leaders in what we do. We produce great stuff. There's my company advert. Thank you. Pay rise. Yeah. What else?
Is that a plug right there?
Yeah, well, they can take it as a plug, and I charge them. Also, I've got two lovely kids, Alf and Charley, a lovely wife as well, who puts up with me with all my shenanigans, and believe me, there's been one or two over the years. So, yeah, I count myself extremely lucky to be doing this. Also, you guys know how this all started because you were there at the beginning, weren't you? We just sort of like started doing a live, then started chatting, and it was kind of, oh yeah, we should get this going. Then sort of Matt come along and, oh, should we do a live chat show? He's like, yeah, well, I'll do it. So that was it. Bang, off we went. And sort of carried on from there, really. 6 months down the line, still going and having fun. So thank you, Chapter, helping us out. And pick up to Matt because he's the brains behind the outfit. I'm just the goon who sits here and gets drunk generally and talks rubbish. So all credit to Matt.
So speaking of the chat, we have CMAC, Craig McPherson from CMAC Cooks, Blackstone Boys. He's got the Art of Flame going. Good guy all around. We got Kenneth from What's New Barbecue. He's here. What's up, KC? We got Jules. Jules is in the house. We got Rusty's in the house. He said, "Oh, I'm dressed for the occasion." Hey, come on. This has been all. Hey, for the past 6 months, have you seen me with the shirt?
I even had a birthday message on across it, so it was perfect.
We got
Jimmy Q in the chat as well.
Jimmy Q, what's up, brother? My other Ohioan, he could rep 216. Respect the code, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cool, man.
Go guys.
So speaking of which, so you guys got started on this whole channel like a little bit before, but you've been around and the barbecue community for quite some time, right? Both of you guys through one way or another. How did you get introduced in the barbecue community? I know Ryan has a Facebook group for UDS, and you might want to talk about that as well. And then you guys are doing podcasts now. So just kind of like, how did you guys get introduced in the whole scene?
I mean, I've always had a sort of a passion for cooking outside. From a younger age, be that sort of cooking outside with your friends when you're camping or whatever. And it's kind of grown from there. When you get your own sort of place, you cook on all manners of different things, and it sort of stemmed from that. And until the point now where I've, got 4 or 5 pits, different things to cook on, always looking to cook on something different or learn something new. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I got into it. I certainly don't profess to be an expert in anything. Like everything in life, you're always learning. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Ryan's got a little bit more in his pockets with your UDS group and stuff like that, and you make.
Yeah, well, lucky enough to have that with some real good administrators behind me as well. Some good people in there who helped me run the group. Also, shout out to Matt, Paul, all the other guys as well. Haley, if you know who Haley is, it might not be Haley. It could be someone else, but I like to call him Haley. So, yeah, all of those guys in that group, in fact, everybody in that group makes the group what it is, because it's a really nice place for people to be. There's no real badgering. Everybody just sort of like supports each other, trying to help build sort of like drums and give out advice on cooks and things like that. I'm really proud of it. It's a lovely little group. It's not the biggest Facebook group in the world, but to be honest, I'm sort of happy it isn't, because it's small. Everybody knows each other and chats away. So that's good. Oh, my lovely missus is in the... Hi, Deb. Sorry. Yeah. Also, well, how did I get into smoking and barbecuing? Well, like probably everyone, I started off with a gas barbecue, just like an Australian type flat top setup, with a hot plate on one side, grill on the other side. So it's sort of like cooked eggs and onions on one side and done, but cooked steaks badly for quite a while on the other. And then I figured out that actually it's quite useful to have a lid. So then I got a Weber kettle and learned about indirect cooking. Then I thought actually I might want to cook something a little bit bigger. So then I've sort of like got what was this? Oh, it was a god awful pit. It was a Brinkman, a little Brinkman bullet smoker. I got it. It was a Brinkman Gourmet. It's like a green one. Didn't have any exhaust at the top, so no smoke could come out. So I'd just be sitting in bad smoke all the time.
Nice.
And I remember the first cook I ever done on it was I thought I'm going to do this big turkey leg because one, it was cheap and I could learn how to use it. It was awful. It was the worst thing one of the worst things I've ever cooked. But as a first off cooking experience for smoking, it wasn't a great advert for it, to be honest. I brought it in, Deb had it, and she was like, "What have you done? Why are you serving me this?" And the boys just sort of looked at it and turned their nose up. I just thought, oh, maybe I'll try a little bit harder.
So you're saying it was like a kind of a Cajun blackened turkey?
Yeah, it was just a big leg. Yeah, I wanted to make a Disney sort of style, but it was awful. It was disgusting. I tried to inject it with butter, but that didn't work. Well, I didn't have butter. I had margarine, and then I tried to rub it under the skin and tried to do all sorts of stuff to it, but it just wasn't good. I've never really smoked turkey since then, if I'm totally honest, because it's just now I think I'd probably do a fairly decent job, because I know you've got to cook it a little bit hotter instead of, when you start, it's like everything's got to be 225, or it's sort of like, and if it goes up or down a degree, you're like, oh no, you're out there tinkering away, doing more harm than good.
Right.
Now I just sort of chuck it on. If it's around 250 or goes up to 300 or drops down like 225, I don't really care, to be honest. It's just all cooking, isn't it? You just sort of know when it's done just by looking at it now. So that's how I do it. I don't generally temp stuff so much anymore, unless I'm making a video for my YouTube channel, which is could do with some more people. So come and check me out. Shameless plug. That's Ryan G's barbecue and stuff. Yeah, so that's it really. I've cooked all sorts of stuff and all sorts of things I like. Oh yeah, of course. I'm forgetting. I used to go out with Deb's dad, and he had a Weber barbecue. We used to sit outside and just get drunk as rats. We didn't really cook much. It was literally like the barbecue. Look at it. Drink as many beers as we could, and then bring in some burnt meat.
Right, but then you practice. So you practice your drinking and barbecuing at the same time, right?
Oh, I definitely hone my drinking.
For the most part, handle both.
That's what I'm doing wrong. See, I practice one at a time.
Yeah,
not
no.
both.
I mean, you got to time your beers to the point where, if you're gonna be going to sleep, all right, I got this many beers to go, and then that's when you take the meat off and shove it in the oven, and and you finish up the cook in the oven. These things take practice.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen. And Matt, you're pretty famous for destroying food as well, right?
Famous for destroying food?
Well, now you are.
I mean, I've had a few bits that I've recovered, but I'm not destroyed anything, unless in the way you mean like destroying it by eating it. I could put away a good amount of food, but
So your worst cook then would be what exactly?
my go-to,
Your worst,
my worst cook.
yes, sir.
It's probably got to be the rack of ribs or the 2 racks of ribs that I managed to cook to about halfway point in about 35 minutes. So the drum ran away. I was running it on on my SmartFire PID, and for whatever reason, I think the battery was flat or low on the battery box, and it seems to cause a few issues. If the battery runs a little bit low, it sends the fan into fucking hyperdrive, and it cranked the pit up to about 450 degrees. I went in to go and prep some side dishes, come back out again, and I'm like, fuck me, that needle should not be there. Come back, I opened it up, and I was thinking, I looked at it and went, oh fuck, this isn't good. So I took both racks of ribs out of the pit, and then I wrapped them in foil, chucked them in a cooler for about an hour until I got the pit back down to a decent temperature, and then and then put them back in again. Thankfully, I salvaged them, but yeah, that could have. If I was a little bit longer, that would have been it. They would have been toast, and they would have been.
That's not too bad. I was gonna say those are times you miss microwave ribs.
Yeah, no. I mean, I there is one I completely fucked up, which was the dessert thing. I tried making like a cookie dough kind of in an iron skillet. Wow, there was no dough left in it. It was like cookie rock. It'd been, the top looked lush. I was like, wow, yeah, that's come out really good. And I got the spoon and was like, hold on a second, it's only going in like a couple of millimeter. And then you're like in a skillet that's like this big, and you're like, it's not. This is not good. Crunch. It's black. It's like a fucking inch of black just burnt. Absolutely ruined. Took me ages, and then I had to re-season my bloody skillet after that because it was it completely just stripped out all the moisture of it. It was ridiculous. That one was properly buggered. But you gotta fuck these things up to get them right again, don't you?
Yeah, it's exactly how you learn. If you're not messing something up, you're not learning how to put it right. So everything, even if something goes bad, you can take something good out of it, in my opinion, because you're learning how to fix things and cook properly. So it's a learning cycle, shall we say?
What do you guys think? So I'm assuming you guys both watch. Well, how do you guys get your barbecue education? Is it mostly from YouTube now, or books, or how do you?
Yeah, I mean, I got a nice big collection of books from people all the way around the world. YouTube is a massive place to get ideas and content, and learning different techniques. When I first started smoking, I certainly was definitely on YouTube looking how to do things like that, and then pestering this guy for ideas on how to use an ugly drum smoker. At that point, I didn't realize that it was his group that I was sending messages to. So yeah, so yeah, exactly. So the internet's just full of places to grab knowledge. I mean, now I've got a copy of Aaron Franklin's masterclass set. So he did like a 8 series masterclass set on the web. That's really good. Watch that, and then I'll watch different bits on Netflix, like the recent ones that have come out on Netflix, like the Chef's Table. What's the other one that came out the other day? The barbecue competition thing where they had about sort of 8 different people all cooking. Binge watch that. Yeah, I mean, just anything with cooking, really. I'll sit and watch and just sort of take ideas from. And then recipe books, just have a flick through them. I'm not really a massive fan of reading all the gumph in between it. I'll look at a picture and go, that looks nice, and I'll read that particular page. But I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in books that you go, oh yeah, you know what, that's really, could be really interesting. I'm more of a visual learner than I am a reading learner.
Dang, I had a question. It's gone. Mrs. Leps pulled in. Sorry.
Oh.
You about to say?
What about you, Ryan?
Me, I've picked up a lot of information again from YouTube. When I first started cooking, probably a group called Country Woods Bite. We had a guy called Marcus on. He helped me out a lot. In fact, there's a couple of Marcus in there. There's Marcus Hender and Marcus, the main group guy. He was on as a guest. A lot of other people as well. Sort of like they will give you a bit of guidance when you get going. YouTube. Obviously, everybody watches Barbecue Pit Boys. Everybody and Malcolm Reed, How to Barbecue Right. I always watch that. I've listened to Barbecue Central show for ages. What else? Obviously, Pit Life Barbecue picked up and sort of hooked up with you guys. Again, just lots and lots of different barbecue groups. There's a massive amount of information out there, especially if you want to get involved with the people within the Facebook groups, because they really want to help. You get a few people who want to sort of dive in and say, oh, you should be doing it this way or you should be doing it that way, but there isn't a right or wrong way, really. It's just a finding a way that works best for you and what suits your cooking style and your taste and your cooker that you're using, because every cooker runs different, really. It doesn't even matter if you built one or brought one or whatever. Every cooker will run different and naturally want to sit at a different temperature. It's just until you actually figure that out, that's when you sort of get the keyboard warriors jumping out and saying you should do it this way or you should do it that way. But once you figure that out, everything just sort of settles down and goes cool again. As I said, a lot of good advice. YouTube channels, great YouTube channels out there. Especially those two guys. They've got some good stuff going on. So check them out. I'm sure we're going to mention that in a little while. But yeah, YouTube, Facebook, reading obviously as well. Got a few barbecue books, but yeah, generally YouTube, if I'm totally honest as well, picked up most of my stuff.
What's cool is how you guys met. He was in that group, and you've been in that group for a long time, and so I didn't know this guy. So when I started texting him, I had no idea what I was getting into. You know where I was going with that already. All right, back to Charley.
That's just in for the ride.
All right. Let's see. So,
Deb's singing a theme tune to the Barbecue Pit Boys.
So you guys,
I used to watch them too. To be honest,
Yeah.
But I'm friends with a guy from here in the States that actually was part of their little million followers and part of the Pit Life crew, Black Hole Barbecue. I don't know if you guys know. Yeah.
No, I've just sort of like seen that channel and watched loads of hours of.
Yeah,
Tens of hours.
I must have watched a million of them. As soon as Deb put up the lyrics to their theme tune, it was just sort of bumbling away in my head now.
Well, you know how they started doing other chapters. So he's part of the chapter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Was anyways. He actually burned all his barbecue pit stuff, Pit Boy stuff, like Cleveland burned LeBron's jerseys.
No, how come?
here's a good time to mention Uncle Steve. Welcome to the chat. And
Hey, Uncle Steve.
Ryan and Matt actually have a discount code for, and maybe this is a chance to talk about Uncle Steve Shake and shipping overseas.
Very good opportunity, I'd say. Right, so Uncle Steve has got a pond swimmer code for the UK. If anybody wants to use that for the UK to get stuff shipped over here, get it done. Uncle Steve does a great job. I've tried his rubs and they are amazing. I had some gator shake on some chicken. The thick meat I had the other day, I've done a video on that using a meter probe. That turned out really well. I had some beef before I come on. I put a little bit of thick shake on just afterwards, just to finish it off and make it a little bit more peppery. So check out Uncle Steve's stuff. He makes some brilliant rubs. Use the code Pond Swimmer. Check him out.
So it's a Pond Swimmer.
Pond Swimmer.
I think he's got a Pond Swimmer special on his website. If you go on his shop, you'll find the Pond Swimmer deal that he's got on there. You buy X amount of, and then it's a set price. So yeah, go check out the website and you'll find the deal he's got running. Awesome stuff.
Just for C-Max information, I found it very tasty. The thick meat tasted good. Lovely mouthful, mouthfeel. If I'm totally honest, C-Mac, I just sort of gorged myself on it. You know.
Did it glide all the way down?
Gosh.
All right.
I mean, it's got a good salt content in it.
He has it flagged, guys. Yes, there you go. He has it flagged.
That is Uncle. What is it? Uncle Steve's
Shake.
Across the pond special.
Correct.
That's it.
All right.
There you go. Look.
Very cool. Very cool.
Jacqueline in as well. He ships to Trinidad and Tobago as well. There you go.
Yeah.
I guess you finally got your stuff.
Pond, the ponds are ponds. We gotta ship it this way or that way.
The international shipping at this point is takes quite a long time. I know that from experience.
So, Daddy Dutch Kent wants to know how we got on with the competition pig powder. I fucking love it. It's amazing.
My chat. Are you in my chat?
Yeah.
No.
Doing the pen flips.
We got the pen flip.
Holy God.
Yeah, no, I really like the pig powder. It's incredible stuff.
You cannot release control, do you?
No, I can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll try again, starting from now.
So we have Ken from Daddy Dutch Barbecue, Matt and Ryan. He said, "Did you get any competition pig powder?"
Yes, I did. I haven't tried it yet, but I've got a 3.5 kilo pork butt that I'm putting on Sunday. So I'm going to give that a dusting of it, and I'm looking forward to trying it because Matt says it's absolutely spot on. So I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, it's special, really special.
Thank you, people.
As you were, sorry.
Come on, you're driving.
So it's safe to say at this point we can say Uncle Steve Shake is actually worldwide. He just got a package to Australia in 19 days. So you might want to ask your mail carrier why it took longer than 19 days.
All mail now goes to Uncle Steve.
So I'm holding this up for a reason. So this was supposed to be in a package that I shipped out, and it clearly was in my hand, not in this package.
Dutchy, Dutchy didn't get a sticker.
Yeah, you got it in one.
We've learned a couple lessons here. Uncle Steve can ship out packages like no time at all.
You can do it quicker than I can.
cannot ship out packages.
Not shit at shipping.
So your shipment, whether it's a body or like in a casket or anything else, it's gonna be in, like bits and pieces.
I'm certainly not going to make my millions being a shipping person, am I?
All right, thanks for sharing, Matt. Sure, Karen, as they say. So, all right, next question. I actually have like kind of a long question here. Go figure. So the UK being as it was, like a colonial country, correct?
Yep.
So many colonies. And so you have influences from all those colonies coming in.
Mm-hmm.
India, Africa, various other countries coming in. How do you think, I know that influences the cooking you guys eat, you can either talk about that, or how do you think it might be influencing like barbecue spices and how you guys can actually set aside like a UK specific offshoot of American barbecue?
Very good question, that. I would say a lot of the guys over here have actually embraced, obviously, the American barbecue style, which is good. There's a lot of, well, there's not many barbecue competitions over here, but the KCBS has worked its way over. The SCA's worked its way over. We've got a lot of guys into cooking over actual live fire. So you'd see like great big asados, people with like a whole piece of like a whole lamb over a fire on a cross, or you'd see so like some people cook dirty steaks as well. They're quite into that sort of thing. So it'd just be like a nice big thick piece of meat put on hot coals with nothing else. So it's like a naked cook with little to no seasoning until it's been cooked. Other sort of flavors, I'd say you do get Indian stuff creeping across. You get quite a few bits of stuff cooked in there. Oh, what's their ovens called? That's just gone straight out of my mind. Tandoor cooking is quite big as well. I've seen that. What else do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head with that one, really, mate. I mean, yeah, spice seems to be quite a big thing in the UK. Different spices, as in heat spices, chilies, different things like that. Your curries, they're big in the UK. Barbecue's still growing, I think. You know, as in, if you say to the UK, you say to a guy in the UK barbecue, you know, 80% of the people that you're talking to, they're going to be talking about grilling sausages and burgers that they've bought from the supermarket. They're not talking about low and slow smoking meat, seasoning things, and, you know, spending hours prepping your stuff. You know, so I mean, there's still a long way to come to be anywhere near what the USA do with their barbecue. But yeah, I guess.
Interestingly enough, actually, I'd probably say, yeah, your average English barbecuer, sort of like the guy who goes out in the back garden and chucks a couple of steaks on and sausages, he'd probably think Australia was more linked to barbecuing than potentially America, because, you know, again, colonial country, chuck a shrimp on the barbie, you see like great big steaks coming from Australia. Like, before I knew any different, yeah, I would probably would have associated barbecue with Australia, to be honest. One, because I went out there when I was really young, and they're massive on barbecues. You can be driving along the side of the road, there'd be a barbecue in the middle of nowhere, and 9 times out of 10, there'd be someone using it in the middle of the woods, or just sort of like by the side of the road. They'd be cooking a steak up or something just because they're traveling somewhere. So yeah, I'd probably say the average English guy would say, yeah, Australia would be their biggest sort of barbecue influence, if you like, because they don't know anything about low and slow. They don't know anything about indirect cooking. It's just literally chuck a steak on, sear it, and away you go. Job done.
Kangaroo.
Yeah, I've eaten kangaroo. It's good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
We get kangaroo jerky at a local jerky shop.
Yeah, organic.
Different.
Apparently, Australia has more camels outside, like of any continent in the world. So
Yeah,
they have wild camels running around the outback
No way.
too.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, learn something new every day.
No, it's called the interior. They live in the interior part of Australia. There's like, God, I think they herd them up and they cull them now. There's so many of them there. It's getting a bit of a problem for the natural wildlife. So they're probably eating camel over there now as well, I should imagine.
When you think about it, like I mean, a barbecue has like been around since man can make fire and like put fire to wood and put meat on top of it. But so thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Why American barbecue is like? Why do you think American barbecue is all of a sudden spreading around? The American version of it.
That's a good question. You could,
Yeah, make you think.
again, not really. Well, I would probably say again YouTube, because the world is a much smaller place now.
True.
Yes, yes, you're right about
So
that.
you see sort of like all the sort of back in the day, all the cooking competitions on the TV you used to get over in the UK, and you just generally sit down and watch it and think, it can't be that difficult.
Yeah,
So
well,
off you go and
Yeah.
buy a little bullet smoker and cremate everything, or make it taste like clear coat.
The other thing is with obviously now the invention of social media and YouTube, things like that. Like you said, the world's smaller. But before that, everything that you'd watch was tailored to your sort of area of the world. So our kind of cooking would be completely different to what the States are. So now that people can freely search and find things, I want to do something different, go and look at this. Yeah, I think that's definitely brought in a different era of watching. And the things like Netflix really jumping on it. Netflix, Amazon, they're sort of big ones that are bringing in, they're sort of going down the sort of information route for people, aren't they? They're trying to provide channels and programs that are full of different information from around the world, like the Taco Chronicles, for example. If you've watched that on Netflix, that's incredible. I mean, I enjoyed watching that, and none of it's in English, so you have to read the subtitles and know what's good. You've got to keep up with it. But yeah, I mean, the food that they're cooking looks incredible. I certainly followed along, and you get some good ideas from it. But it's not just there's a wealth of knowledge available, like within a couple of clicks of your fingers now. So I think that helps bring more sort of visibility of different cultures and different parts of the world's cooking.
Yeah, true. I mean, the Taco Chronicles themselves are totally fascinating. Like going from country to country and dealing with all that. It's like it's unbelievable. Yeah. All right, that makes sense to me. What do you see as the next step in the evolution of barbecue there or here or anywhere else? Is it world tastes, or is it like what would be kind of a next new thing?
Ooh, I wish I knew the answer to that. I'd become rich overnight.
Because I'm gonna like pony down on that stock.
I mean, I don't think for you guys over in the States you've already really defined your different areas of barbecue, your different sort of region of barbecue, and there's not really much changing from it, is there? I mean, Texas have got their own style of of cooking. You've got Memphis have got their own style.
Right.
I don't think. Is there a way that you guys can move forward and push that boundary? I mean, for us in the UK, we could certainly turn around and go, we're going to make our own way of cooking barbecue, You know, and maybe it be an adaptation of, you know, a couple of different ones from the States and mixed together, and it gives you a UK style barbecue. I don't know, but I mean, barbecue's been around in your sort of area for a long time and is, you know, really sort of rooted, whereas ours is still, I wouldn't say it's picky, you know, it's not young, but you know, it's certainly not as aged as the States is.
But you could say that a lot about UK cooking, though.
In the UK for like forever and a day, so, and we're a young country. Not exactly. I mean, I don't know. You consider like there are a couple of ways to preserve meat, right? You got salting, curing, which is essentially the same thing. Smoking, and then like some sort of refrigeration or something, like a cave or whatever else back in the day. But there's not much else you can do to actually preserve meats, and like that's why smoking kind of took off for a little bit, because people were trying to figure out like how to deal with like a tough cut, because you had to use the whole thing, and then B, like how to make it last. I'll post a secondary question to you guys. So what are your thoughts about like authentic food versus coming up with your own way to do it? Because I've seen people talk like on YouTube videos, occasionally you'll see comments like, hey, that's, you know, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, you didn't, like, this isn't the way I do it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, knock yourself out, man.
I mean, the problem is with YouTube and authentic barbecue or authentic cooking in general is it's authentic, and you know, it is set in its way. You can't turn around and say to somebody, well, you know, that's not how I do it. No, because that's, you know, your personal opinion, and that's you adapting something that's, you know, grassroots. Yeah,
sure.
I don't know. It's a fun one, that.
So I mean, I'll tell you a couple of things I heard, and that like so some YouTube stuff, you'll get those comments and stuff, and I'm like, all right, that's your authentic way of doing it. That's like the city you grew up in. That's that's your mom doing it. You know, that's the way you were raised and everything else. But recipes are not like boom, boom, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Recipes are ideas. So you basically get the general idea of what you're doing, and then you're like, hey, I like this more. Hey, I like this more. That's how like recipes change throughout time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's got different palates and different tastes, so you cater it to how you like it. Really, that's what I do. I'll read through a recipe. In fact, me and Matt have had this conversation before. I will read through a book. I will look at a recipe, and I'll take out the bits that I like, and then I'll adjust it to how I want it. I won't use the recipe. I'll just use it as a guide to how I want it. If I'm going down that route.
If someone chucks star anise in a fucking recipe, that's coming straight out.
Star anise. I can do it like in Vietnamese pho or anything else, but I'm like a little bit goes a long ways with some things. Some good comments though. Dutchie said in the UK, I think we're doing fusion barbecue, taking butts from everywhere, and Dutchie puts up some phenomenal videos of doing like really cool foods.
Mm-hmm.
She said, totally agree. Issue with the kids. People being introduced to it through U.S. style barbecue restaurants that focus on American styles, and it's hard to buck the trend. I totally agree with that. So, like, I mean, if you were to go down and like, you know, use some sort of like barbecue fusion thing down in Texas, and like everyone criticizes Texas about like, oh, it's just salt and pepper. It isn't just salt and pepper. But like, say you were to go down there and start like some like, you know, I'm gonna do this, that, and the next time, and maybe hard to buck the trend. It's hard to say. I think maybe the thing in the UK as well, where it's like harder to get people introduced to like new tastes and everything else. And I mean, you guys are lucky now where I think the UK doesn't really quite understand barbecue, like the American style. Like a lot of them haven't eaten at American style barbecues. So it's an opportunity for you to say like, hey, we're doing an American style barbecue ish, you know, and kind of bend the rules a lot.
Yeah.
You could argue the cooking styles are the same, the ingredients are similar, and then you just take it in the direction you want to take it. You know, and there's nothing's written in stone. No one says it has to be done that way. It's just a lot of people happen to do it that way. It doesn't necessarily mean you like it, or people over here or people over there is going to like it. It's just a question of that particular taste, or that particular person likes it done in that way, and he's or she's promoted it in that sense. So that's how everybody else thinks, because they've gone, oh, that's a good idea. We'll follow John or Bob or Ted or Sue, you know.
I'm about to do a recipe that it's a Mexican recipe, which the meat is goat, and I'm gonna do beef instead, and it calls for cinnamon and cloves. I'm like, now I'm not using those two. I'll find something else to substitute for that flavor, but you know, even bay leaves. You know what I mean? I'm not hip to using a whole lot of bay leaf on certain stuff.
Yeah.
No one likes bay leaves.
No, bay leaves are really good. Dutchie said, I found American barbecue sweet, so just a UK taste. Well, Dutchie, I'll tell you, like, there are multiple different styles in the US as far as barbecue goes.
Yeah.
Some of them are definitely sweet. Like if you're talking like Memphis barbecue or something like that, or Kansas City barbecue, you're talking fairly sweet. If you're talking like Carolina style, is like,
we'll get you right there.
It could be like kind of sweet, but then like vinegar.
Yeah, mustard, vinegar.
Yeah. Mustard vinegar pops you. And then Texas style, like traditionally,
salt and pepper.
authentic style, whatever else.
Squirt bottle barbecue
sauce and Central Texas is supposed to be like no sauce, like salt and pepper, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I hear you. I mean, they're too sweet, but yeah. I mean, you just adjust to what you like.
Yeah, exactly. Like cumin on beef is amazing. I'll tell you what, when you try that, it's really good. I put cumin on if I make brisket, I normally do salt, pepper, garlic, cumin, because the cumin, it sort of lifts the beefy flavor. It makes it taste really good. It really enhances the beefy flavor of a brisket. It really does make it pop.
Do you guys get Goya products over there? Goya?
Never heard of it.
Spanish.
Never heard of it. Sorry, mate.
No, not.
We might well do, but I'm not cultured enough to know what that is.
No, same.
Adobo seasoning, which is like their all-purpose, which has all that garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, salt, pepper. So it's like a one-time, you know what I mean? Then there's another Goya product, which is orange, which will give you the orange. It's called Sazon.
What's the other one? Basil, like the other, or Badio. The other kind of like I think those are both Mexican brands. I think.
Yeah, check around local to you guys. See if you can catch an order somewhere. You know what I mean?
I honestly don't really know much about Mexican cooking, like Spanish cooking. Yeah, a little bit.
It's not just for Spanish cooking though. Here in the States, it's broad. It's like a Lowry's seasoning salt. You heard of Lowry's, the big old L?
No.
Wow. Oh man. I think we
We
need
got
Yeah. To be fair, it's probably just a brand name, isn't it? It's very similar. I should imagine there's plenty of brand names in the UK that you guys haven't heard of that, you're saying stuff that's really popular in the US, but for us, obviously, it's something completely different.
the past couple of years, HP sauce.
Yeah. See?
that's been over here for donkey's years. HP.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
a
it.
staple. HP, Heinz. I suppose you must have that. Heinz has been knocking around for
Yeah.
ages.
I think Heinz is an American. And I mean, it's funny, like some of the barbecue community like discovered lean parents.
Oh, what Worcester sauce?
Worcestershire.
And you know how that came about, don't you?
Yeah, they were fermented. They were making something and they over fermented something, and it turned into Worcester sauce, isn't it?
Yeah.
Worcestershire.
So they went to India, I think it was, and then like they pulled some stuff back. They over fermented it and let it sit for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, this is really good." And then all of a sudden it became like bottled up and sold as a Worcester sauce.
I think a similar thing happened with Tabasco sauce. You must have Tabasco sauce over there.
We did. I mean, so here,
He said,
Tabasco,
"Don't
the actual label. Actually, there's one island, McElhenney Island, where all the Tabasco peppers or the Tabasco plant come from. So, yeah,
Oh, wow.
for the actual Tabasco sauce. Now, there are offshoots. So there's Louisiana, Crystal, Texas Pete. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that are kind of like similar-ish, but the original Tabasco it's still owned by the same family, I think.
Oh, you live and learn. I didn't know that. I just always, I wasn't sure where it was from. You just see it in like a little red bottle or a little green bottle, and it tastes fantastic. So it's like,
the greens."
but I think,
Yeah.
it's like, I like the green one. I prefer it to the red, if I'm honest.
Have Cholula, another Mexican hot sauce. Green poblano and jalapeno. Ooh.
I've not heard of that one.
As Matt's little finger dip over there, that unicorn fart or dust, whatever.
The Cholula stuff I've had before.
Yeah, Craig, I don't have bottles of
If I showed you the picture, Ryan, you'd say the same thing
Yeah,
of the Cholula sauce.
I've not tried it, but I quite like. The trouble is, I don't mind spicy stuff, but no one else does in my family, so I don't really buy it that much.
Show the crowd your package again, Charlie.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
The bum 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 bum.
Russ, just
2.2
Russ, just
Scovilles.
yeah.
I like this.
Russ, just in case you are still here, I think that's what we need to. We need to up the ante on the unicorn stuff with that.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Is it 2 million Scovilles? That's
2.2 million Scovilles. Nuts.
That challenge thing you done, Charlie. The peanut one.
Yeah.
How hot did that go?
Man, I'll tell you, like, it's like the problem is like it was the buildup. So it was like, you do one, fine, do another one, fine, do another one, fine, but you got like 5-minute wait between every single one. By the end, like, I don't even know. Like, I literally had to take a break afterwards and said like, and I like just sat for a while shivering. And like it was like my brain didn't work. It was hot.
You didn't look very good on the video, I must admit.
But I mean, like that chocolate challenge thing was freaking easy. Like that thing was crazy easy. And I was like, all right, whatever. Give it a eat.
Chocolate one.
Yeah, I did. Choco Coco or Choco Loco or whatever it was.
I remember watching Johnny Mags do that on the Pit Life barbecue show. He sort of done well. He just sort of like banged it down his head, sat there, went a little bit red, then he was fine again. It was just
it was really fine. Like no big deal. I mean, I've been to like restaurants where I'm like, make it as hot as you possibly can, like Thai restaurants or everything else. And they'll make it like Americanized version. I'm like, no, make me the Thai version. Make it as hot as you possibly can. And I'm just like, all right, rock and roll. That's good. I have zero problem with spice whatsoever. Not at all.
Seemed to lose a lap. What happened there?
All of a sudden, it did a circle and boom, there I went. Hey, how you doing?
It's back.
Yeah.
there he was, gone.
Let's see. Other questions. What are your favorite cuts of meat, and what's your least favorite cut of meat?
Ooh.
Well, I'll keep
Least
this one off.
favorite. Go on.
I love beef short ribs. They're my absolute favourite thing to eat in the whole world.
Nice.
They're
Get
my
the whole
they're
plate. Find that whole
best.
plate, man.
the best thing I can ever eat.
Get the whole
At all.
plate with the muffin top. Oh my God, man.
Yeah. That's how we get it
It's
over with
too-
the brisket on the top.
Oh God, man.
They're the best things you can eat.
Meat candy.
Hmm
Meat
Yeah, beef ribs for sure. Pork butt, light, but beef ribs is a treat.
You've got to pick one, mate.
Yeah, beef ribs, without a doubt, hands down.
He's like, no. Pick one.
Pick one, beef ribs. Thank you.
Hey,
Worst meat. I don't
Let's
know.
do a Charlie. How many more questions you got?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a rapid fire. Let's do a rapid fire for each of them. So they're totally different questions. So they don't both have to answer the same question. You know what I'm saying?
No, I will kindly concede the floor to my esteemed gentleman from Ohio.
I didn't mean all that.
Hey man, it's election season. Like,
Uh,
I'm conceding the floor.
I don't have it here. I would have to write it down. You got it here.
My favorite beautiful, beautimous person from. I know that's what I'm like. I'd have to write something down. I'm like,
I thought about a rapid fire. You know, just them one quick answers. You know, witty. Gotta be
Not
quick. You know what I mean?
Hey, you're in the right place here, guys. If you want wit.
I don't do rapid fire. I do like slow,
Methodical questions.
slow and low, low and slow.
Mm.
I don't do hot and fast. Well, except for pork butt sometimes. Hey, knock yourself out, dude. Go for
No,
it.
I don't have nothing written down.
All right.
Maybe next time.
Well, let's just go back to the original question then. I'm going to go for pork ribs. I think was probably my favorite. I enjoy a good rack of ribs. The beef ribs, although they taste amazing, they're just a bit too rich for me. Like the too much fat content just upsets me. Not upsets me physically, but stomach wise, it upsets me a little bit. So, you know, it's more of a delicacy. You can only have like a little bit of it. I couldn't sit and eat. Well, we did sit and eat like fucking 2 or 3 of those ribs each, and yeah, my stomach did not enjoy it afterwards. I think it's like a 1 rib kind of meal that. So yeah, pork ribs is probably a go-to. It's just, you know, they're just so versatile. You can do so much with them, and you change your flavors with, you know, what you season them with so much. And then my least favorite, I don't know, it's a difficult one really. Someone with a fuckload of bones in it. Something like people are going to like. I know this is going to get people are going to like slate me for this, but like chicken wings. Yeah, see, I told you, Ryan's face. That chicken wings. The only reason is, although they're tasty, there's not enough meat on them. It's really fucking fiddly. You're there like, and you get like a tiny little bit of meat.
You're getting some. We get some jumbo ones like this.
Yeah, see, our chickens aren't fucking like pumped full of crazy steroids and fluids. Ours are like normal fucking chickens that flap around in a farm.
I don't know about that.
Genetically modified chickens.
You get down a supermarket and get 3 chickens for a tenner. I don't think they're a normal.
No, they were all bred in the same fucking box. Yeah,
we have a couple places like that too.
I think least. I don't think it's like a least favorite meat. There's nothing I don't enjoy, but anything with a lot of bones or something that doesn't have enough meat on it.
You ever get an egg with like 3 yolks?
No, I've never had a 3. I've had a 2. But then your eggs freak me out.
Right. So they freaked us out. We still eat them.
But I mean, I don't understand it. Your chickens don't lay like white eggs. No, they don't shit out fucking. They don't. They don't shit out perfectly white eggs.
I love eggs.
Let's be honest.
You ever had balut? Or do you even know what it is?
No, but can you say that again?
A balut.
A balut. Oh yeah, I know what a balut is. That's it's a fertile egg, generally from Asia.
So we had
it's a fertilized chicken egg or a fertilized egg of some kind. And to be fair, it's not a whole. You're not getting a chick. It's just normally a balut would have a vein of blood in it or something to say it's been.
Oh God, no.
Charley.
It's pretty well developed. So
Charley.
you don't get bones and everything else in there.
Charley, remember when
fuck that.
Robert Roy and Lassie's what's Lassie's channel's name?
Lassie is like Lassie's Food and TV or something like that.
You guys hip to him? He's in Sweden.
Yeah, I'll go check him out.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
Real
he's been
good
around
dude.
for a long time.
Hit him up. We'll get him on. I wouldn't mind talking to him. He's cool. Swedish dude.
Yeah.
Viking vibe.
He came stateside and they went to a Filipino restaurant and did the balut. Yeah.
Isn't that bueno?
No.
Bro, that was a hard video to watch. Let's just say that.
No thanks.
And it was live.
You can keep those.
It was
You
live.
can keep those ones.
It was live too.
You got to take it for what it is, though. That balut is a street food, isn't it? In Asia, they just rock up at a stall and they'll be
like they'll put it in like smokers and it depends. Like it's street food, so they'll have like a couple of pots and put it on like smokers and stuff.
Can you spatchcock it? Can you spatchcock it and throw it on some flames real quick?
Chuck it over the top of a tea light.
It is not boiled.
There's no way ever. I don't even eat seafood because of the texture. There's no way I'd eat. No.
I love seafood. All right, so here's the question. Both you guys are in like a seafood loving country, right? There is essentially sea kind of all around, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys like seafood, and what do you like doing with it?
That's a good
This
question.
one's an easy one for me. No.
Yeah, I figured, based on your expression, I figured.
I love seafood. Everything.
I'm gonna say no, just because my parents didn't enjoy fish, so that's been passed down to me. I know for a fact I do enjoy fish because I've eaten it, and it's just now one of those things that I don't cook because I'm not used to it, and I probably will in the future. There you go. Over to Ryan because he can talk about fish.
I can talk about fish as long as you like.
Love it.
One of my favourite dishes is a London dish called jelly deals. Have you heard of jelly deals? It's an eel, basically cut into chunks, cooked in,
Yeah, for sure.
and it sort of like boils up into a jelly, and it sets, and you pick it out, eat it with a bit of vinegar and pepper. Oh, a little bit of vinegar and pepper on it. It's delicious. Really nice.
They're rancid.
It's not. It's so good.
They're fucking
Jelly deals
horrible.
are really nice. I don't care what you say. It's really nice. It's one of my favourite things.
So, jelly deals is certainly in the UK, his side of the UK. Certainly not something that the Southwest eat. It's definitely a London thing and around that area. My nan loves them, jelly deals. But I had them, fuck me, and nearly threw it all up. Disgusting. I'll let you keep those.
My granddad served in the Navy. He had no teeth, right? He used to eat jelly deals. He used to get the jelly deals, like a big bone, and just literally suck it off. Absolutely delicious.
Lunch.
Prawns, scallops, razor clams, cockles, mussels.
She used to like cockles as well.
Yeah, I love cockles and winkles. Do you know what a winkle? Winkles like a
Cockles, winkles, yeah, bloody hell.
all of that stuff. I think it's fantastic. It's beautiful, beautiful food.
I agree.
Boil it up, cover it in vinegar, bit of pepper, it's got to be white pepper, and then away you go. It's lovely. Fish as well. Any fish I'll eat. Prawns. When we didn't get fish much, but we always had it as a treat, especially when we went to the seaside, and that'd be cockles, mussels, winkles, jelly deals. But then we'd always have fish. Like my granddad was a fisherman, so he used to get trout and stuff like that. Now and again, like you're not supposed to, but times were hard and just put them out in the river. All sorts of stuff, really. Yeah, it's not a fish I wouldn't eat, if I'm totally honest. Even when we went, like me and my wife, we went on our honeymoon to the Maldives. I caught a fish. It was a red snapper on a piece of string, and it was massive. This fish, and we had it prepared and barbecued it on the beach with like some other people. It was a big party thing. It was really cool. So yeah, any fish.
Man, I'm with you. All right, the do's and diagonals. These, I don't know. I can't do the whole backwards camera thing. But the do's and diagonals like fish. The dudes like on the other diagonal are fish haters.
No way.
So we're saying Mr. Lep doesn't enjoy fish either.
Yeah.
And I live on a lake. And I live on a lake that gets great fresh yellow perch, freshwater perch, walleye. Then you get into the other fishes, which a lot of people, it's just catch and release. Steelhead, catfish, stuff like that.
Do you eat perch in America?
I have actually chunked up and breaded, so it was like popcorn chicken. As long as it's breaded and deep fried, I could probably do it.
I didn't know you could eat
As
perch.
long as the texture is not too chewy, you know what I mean? That's what it depends on. I've been trying to get my fishing buddies to do a catch to cook, so I would go down to the lake and watch, film them catch. and we go straight to the Blackstone.
Yeah, that'd work
So-
good. So, loads of butter and garlic with a fish. Ooh,
I'd probably do like if I'm gonna throw it on the Blackstone, I'd probably do like duck fat.
yeah. Well, duck fat would be good. But generally, if you're going to cook fish like that, you want oil, a nice olive oil, a good bit
Well,
of garlic,
I have
nice onions, and maybe finish it off with a bit of, I don't know, spring onion, or I think you called it cilantro, just on top. Nice and crunchy, bit of sesame seeds. Beautiful. Good cook. That's what I don't eat that
you
often.
just painted a pretty picture.
Well, I'm interested in it's nice, super quick, super easy as well. Generally, once you see the skin crisp, you can like take the pan off the heat, and then the residual heat will cook the fish. So once you see the skin go crispy, just take it off the heat, give it a couple of minutes, serve it, it's cooked.
Delicious. I just had like a salmon and trout the other night. And
Yeah.
I love it.
That's his neck of the woods. Where he's at, that's what he gets.
Man, I love that stuff.
I saw
And
it.
I've got a look at which I can almost see from this window. It's like a couple miles out, but they got like a bass and trout. Yeah, buddy, good stuff.
Mhm.
I love and I actually have a video on like octopus. I have a video on salmon on the Blackstone. Yeah. Man, I love seafood.
How did you cook your octopus, Charlie? Did you cook it? Did you braise it or did you cook it fast?
Which one?
Octopus.
I cooked it I smoked it up with cooked it fairly quickly because you can either the thing about octopus is they're baby octopus, so in that video anyways. But the thing about octopus is either you can freeze it, and these were frozen. Same thing goes with large octopus, octopi. But you can freeze it, and that'll break down some of the tissue, or you can boil it out, and then I'll start breaking down some stuff. And you can either cook it quick, or otherwise you'd have to boil it or whatever else, because otherwise it will turn out rubbery.
Yeah. You've either got to braise it slowly or literally cook the heck out really quick.
There's no two ways about it. I mean, it will turn out rubbery if you don't. But man, I love a nice tender octopus, squid, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I don't know. Do we have any other questions? What time is it now? Been on for hour and 15. I mean, I have a ton of questions. But,
Keep it rolling. I'm quite happy to keep answering. Matt, if you need to go, it looks like you may need to go and answer the door for a minute by the looks of things. You go for a...
I think I might need to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah, you haven't moved. You haven't moved in an hour and 15 minutes, brother.
Mhm.
he needs to rebuild the door.
Yeah.
You've got- for the guys for the guys that are watching, I've literally just come out of spinal surgery, so sitting for an hour and 15 minutes is slightly painful, as you can probably imagine. So I'm going to go and take a little walk, and I might come back, but if I don't, Lep, Pickles, thank you very much, guys, for taking over the show and asking some really good questions. It's been good fun, mate.
Really
Cheers,
good.
guys.
Really, really good.
Right, I'm gonna go for a little plod, and I might see you again in about 5.
See you in a second, buddy.
We're getting to know you guys. So now it's down to 3.
Oh shit!
Man, I actually do need to take a break at some point or another.
You need to go answer the door. Okay, so
Hey, do we want to do a knock at the door right now?
I do that now.
We're all an hour 15 in. You know what I mean? We all been sitting here for a minute.
well, if anybody has any packages that need shipping or delivering, maybe now's the time to go.
Are you guys still? You guys are still rolling on podcast or no?
I think that would probably have been a good edit point, so we can take it from there. But
open up. Do you want to open up the pub? You guys want to go that way?
Well, Matt's just buggered off, and he's the one with a button, so I can't sort of like roll that. So we just keep on chatting. If you want to go answer the door, go answer the door.
To our fine guest.
Okay.
We can pick it up in the edit later on, so that's no big deal. I'm quite happy to keep on answering questions. It's quite good. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest.
I have a
If you got stuff to throw at me, I'll try my best to answer it.
All right, works for me, man. All right, let me give me about 5. I gotta tell some of this stuff up. 5 minutes.
No worries, man.
All right. Well, we got 7 in here. You can't bring anyone else in?
Yeah, I can bring some people in. I'll pop the link up and
open up the pub.
No, we're going to open up the pub then. We get some people in. We get some more people.
You can still answer questions. You know what I mean? It's just we're gonna liven up the.
Yeah. To be fair, it's been really quite quiet. So what we do, share it out, get some people in, and we'll take it from there. All right.
One more question before we depart. What's one question, like if you were interviewing you, what do you ask?
If I was interviewing me, cool. That's a good heavily weighted interview question. If I was asking me,
what would you know about yourself if you weren't yet?
Maybe what's my favorite type of music, or something along them lines, or potentially color's always a good one if you want to gauge someone. What's your favorite color, or something like that, or equally, what's your favorite type of food other than barbecue?
I actually had that question for you earlier.
Well, I can tell you the answer to that. I really do like every food. If I could eat one type of food for the rest of my life, I'd probably eat Italian food. It's my favorite. I really like curry, but Italian food is fantastic. There's so much variety, and it's really simple, tasty food. It's like 3 or 4 ingredients normally, and it's all really delicious. So Italian food, pasta, pizza, anything.
Sure. What's your favorite food to do? Like if you're not barbecuing, what's your favorite thing? Like either in the kitchen or.
Generally, it's seasonal, isn't it? I like if I'm cooking on the stove, I'll cook fish. If it's getting to autumn time, I love putting stuff in a slow cooker and crock pot. So again, that'd be the fattier cuts of meat. Just stick them in, cut up a load of veg, and then see it later on. Quite simple food, but really, really tasty with a bit of bread. Not that I'm eating bread at the minute. That's another story. But yeah, I'd say crock pot cooking is good for the winter. Summertime, fish I like because it's light. It's and sort of like stuff with rice, fish and rice generally is quite good.
I'm 100% in with that. In the middle of a field of trees.
You can do so much with that sort of variety of food as well. You can spice it up. You can.
I agree, man.
Sort of make it Asian flavors as well. You can bung that on, and like a lot of that food is really, as I said, versatile. It's easy. You only need 3 or 4 ingredients, and you can change you could start off with a base, and then totally change the direction of a cook by adding 2 or 3 different flavors.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's the same thing. Well, all right. Should we ask questions, or should we meet back in like Jay is gone apparently?
He must have had an urgent package. I can see Matt's coming back in now. So yeah, if you want to go and do that, we can run the thing because Matt's here to drive again. Okay. So Matt, if you want to run the pub club, Charlie needs to go answer the door. I've got a package that needs delivering as well. So give it a second and we'll come right back. All right.